and welcome to Humans of Fuzia. I'm Riya Sinha, your host, and today we have the pleasure of welcoming Alka Tandan. She is the SVP of Finance at Gainsight, and she has over 20 years of corporate finance, operations, and M&A experience in the technology industry, mostly focused on SaaS, having worked at respected companies like SAP, Actian, and MetricStream, and now at Gainsight. Alka, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for that wonderful intro. Glad to be here.
Yeah. My first question is just kind of like briefly introduce yourself. Like what work are you doing now and what led you to that path?
You did a very good job with my intro. So, I'm currently, as you said, SVP of Finance at Gainsight. Mm-hmm. Gainsight is what we call category creator. So they actually created the category of customer success. What led me to this path is essentially, I always knew that I enjoyed numbers in school. Mm-hmm. And so, I looked at a couple of different careers and finance just seemed to sort of click with me. So I actually started as an investment banker many years ago and then decided to I went to business school and then decided to come back and actually be in a company just because I really enjoy watching kind of a company grow and really being part of the change. Yeah. And so after a couple of years at a variety of companies, I've been here at Gainsight, and it's been a really great ride. I've enjoyed it immensely.
So just kind of speaking, I guess, to like your school and your younger experiences, like how does your culture or like background or childhood kind of inform the way that you make decisions and the decisions you made in your career?
In terms of school specifically, or just in general?
In general.
Yeah. I think the biggest influence were my parents. They were immigrants and they came here. They were very hard workers, first of all. So, I saw that sort of firsthand how they sort of built a life here. My dad was an engineer. He has a PhD in engineering. And so so education was always very, very important. And of course, that also sort of just led me for like a love of technology. I remember he would bring in, like, he was in semiconductor, so he would bring in like semiconductor like chips, and I would sort of see them. And my mother too, my mother was a businesswoman. She was a small business owner. She had many businesses. And so, I had two really wonderful role models in terms of business and taking chances and really just going for it.
Wow, that sounds amazing. And then, so my next question is quite general, but it's, what 3 topics are you most passionate about? And they can be in anything, like it doesn't have to be related to your work.
So one thing that I do a lot outside of work is work around meditation. And so, now it's becoming much more popular in the workplace and just popular in general. I've been doing it for like over 20 years. And I think that's a practice that, I think like exercise and eating well, sometimes it can be a bit cumbersome, but the rewards are just, there's so many rewards. Mm-hmm. And it's meditation is something that can really help you across your life, whether it's work, whether it's your personal life, whether it's just getting better. And so I really encourage all people to at least try it and spend some time. It takes a little bit of practice, but it can truly be life-changing, just 10 minutes a day.
Yeah. How'd you get interested in meditation?
Again, I come from an Indian background, and so I often had trips to India, and so I think first it was yoga, and my dad was very much into yoga, and so I think that was kind of my entryway, and then as I started it, I just noticed the effects, and I noticed the effects pretty immediately. And so I just kind of started delving in deeper and deeper and learned from a bunch of different people, and like Buddhist meditation as well as Hindu meditation, just different types. And then just to figure out what kind of worked for me. But honestly, it was, I had early exposure, but then also I just feel like it worked. It really made a big difference in my life. So. Yeah.
That's amazing. I just started doing yoga too.
Oh, wonderful. And yoga itself is a meditation. It's just using the physical body. And that's the thing. I think, even people who are like long distance runners, what's actually going on is after a while, they're in that state. They're in kind of that meditative state. Yeah. Yeah.
And then any other passions that you might want to share as well?
Well, not so much these days, but I love to travel. So I've been to like over 50 countries. Really, the farther the better. I've always enjoyed it. And so, like I said, it's been a little bit less these days, but I really enjoy, particularly like historical sites, like going to Machu Picchu and the one big trip I haven't done is Egypt, the pyramids. So maybe once COVID is over, I'll have a chance to go there. But that's always been a huge passion of mine too.
Oh yeah, I'm hoping. I'm itching to travel as well. So
great.
Soon.
Where's your first trip after COVID?
Well, I guess like to see my family, I guess I'd probably like India or Dubai because that's where my family is right now. But
love Dubai. Got a lot of friends there.
But I think more for my own fun, I really want to do like an Asia trip, like Singapore, Taiwan, just because I've heard
amazing.
So
Cambodia is lovely if you have a chance to go.
Yeah, I really want to go. I want to do like a whole trip there. So. Yeah.
Great. Send me pictures.
No, I'm excited. And then okay. So my next thing I wanted to ask is like, what are some challenges that you may have faced in the initial years of your career, or like any present ones, and like how did you overcome them?
I think early in my career, it really was about what do I really want to do. I think, as a young person, we're very fortunate growing up, in the States. We've got a lot of different options. And so, what I would just encourage people to do is just talk to a ton of people. And really, I would say early in your career, don't be afraid to experiment. Just try a bunch of different things, and I find in a lot of companies, if you're really good at if you do one thing really good, most companies will allow you to, if you're a star, they'll let you do kind of a bunch of different things. And so I would really encourage people in the earlier part of their careers. Another thing is that sometimes there are things that we really like to do, and then there are some things that we're really good at. And those are different things. And so sometimes you need to find like a nice, good, happy medium. For example, someone may want to be a basketball player and they love it, but maybe they're just not destined to be it. And so, but there might be, maybe they should go to coaching. There could be like a nice middle ground. And so that's what I definitely say. I think, current challenges, there's a lot of opportunity. And so just really picking the right opportunity, I think is kind of where I'm at right now, is kind of like what I just focus on. Is this really where I want to spend my time? Are these the people I want to spend my time with? So it's a good problem to have. Not everyone in the world, has the problem of like a lot of good opportunities. So I'm grateful for that.
That's amazing. And I think that's a good way to look at life. It's like, like glass half full.
Always.
Yes.
Definitely.
And I guess speaking of opportunities, like what are some things you're looking forward to in the future? Any new like opportunities that you're really excited about?
Well, I really enjoy working at Gainsight. Gainsight, our CEO is amazing. The culture is amazing. We have this whole belief about doing business while being human first. And not a lot of companies, actually talk the talk and walk the walk. And we really, really do, And so I'm really love working here and enjoy sort of working here. I think sometime, later on in the future, I see myself continuing to work in SaaS. SaaS is a very unique business, and it's just from a business perspective, it's very attractive, but it's also very powerful. In the next already most of our world runs on software, and it will continue to. So that's what it's that I really sort of enjoy, and every gadget has software in it. So I look forward to that, and then probably later I'd like to just work on boards and do that side of sort of work as well. I do some investing on the side, and so I imagine that I will also just continue to do that on the side. So.
That sounds amazing. And I guess my final question would be like, do you have any motivational messages for younger women who'd be watching this, or just like life advice in general?
Well, I love meeting women like you. Like what you're doing with this platform, I think is wonderful. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for the younger generation of women. I mean, I look to, the women before me, and I know that they had to really break through some glass ceilings. And then I didn't even realize that we were also breaking some glass ceilings as well. And so now I look at the younger generation and I'm like, I'm so excited for you, because I just think, it'll be even more opportunity, which is sort of amazing. I think the best and biggest advice that I can give any young woman and really a young man also is just always to stay true to yourself and be your own best friend. Nobody really knows you better than yourself.
Mhm.
However, also with that, I like to always create I tell people to create their own personal board of directors. So have a group of people around you, and it takes some time, and people will change. That when you do have challenges, there are people that you can really bounce things off of. And I would look for certain qualities. I would look for, first of all, compassion, kindness is a given. But I would also just look for somebody who can really actually knows you well enough and can put themselves in your shoes and give you advice based on what's best for you. And so, I think that excuse me, is invaluable, to have that type of a group around you as you're sort of sorting through things.
Oh yeah, I love that analogy, like having a personal board of directors. I think that's something that, rings true, because I think for anyone growing up, it's just important to have that support system in place. So yeah, I think those are all my questions. If you wanted to add anything else.
No, I just, I would say the only thing I'll say the other piece of advice is just be bold. I mean, the people that have changed the world are the ones that are not the ones that kind of do what everybody else has done. And I've certainly followed that in different areas sort of my path. And it never hurts to ask. Even if it's something, and the last thing I will just say is that everybody is scared. So the difference is that some people just go for it, and sometimes you just have to go for it.
No. So. Yeah, I think that's a real struggle. I think especially for young women, because I'm always kind of scared to ask or ask for something. But I think it's important to move forward, just to go for it, and nobody
exactly.
will. Yeah.
And always remember, everybody's scared, even if they don't act like it. Everybody's a little bit scared, and so that kind of always, sort of when I have to remind myself of that often too. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's amazing. Thank you so much for being a part of this interview.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.